Okay.
Right, here. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, on this beautiful sunny spring day.
It's actually warmed up.
Yeah.
So for those watching it live, you'll know, but for those not watching it live, it's been really cold for the last few weeks, really unusually cold for April. We've had loads of snow, so we are quite glad to have what is a properly warm spring day. We're at Hawthorn surgery allotments today, up in Wortley in Leeds, and we have been talking a lot about coming in on our live streams and going, hello, I'm Freya, I'm Alex, which we've not actually done yet, have we?
I'm Alex.
Yeah, I'm Freya. And you're Alex, and we are from the Green Gym team.
Yes.
And what we realised is we haven't actually told you that much about what Green Gym means. So for some people that come to Green Gyms, you might know, but for those who are sort of looking at it being like, well, what is that? We thought we'd bring you to one of our Green Gyms and talk through what the group's about, who comes to the group, and who we are, and what sort of things you might expect if you came to a session, and what benefits that gives to people. It's easy to point out the benefits when the weather's like this, isn't it?
Well, it's benefits to the people that come, benefits to the people that live around where the group is, and benefits to the site as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this group is an interesting one. So the Hawthorn surgery allotment, as the name implies, it's an allotment, which not all of our groups are, but it also is linked to Hawthorn GP surgery at the Lower Wortley Medical Practice. So this group is for people that are registered at the GP surgery down there, and sort of people local to the area as well. There are some people that come that aren't registered there, but it's just a little bit about how that works, how we interact, and how people get in the group. And other groups we have aren't based at allotment sites, and some don't come through surgeries. So we'll talk a bit later about the different ones that we do. But yeah, if you want to join this one, then that's how to go about doing it. Yeah. Do you want to do a little bit of a tour of the site?
Yeah, so this is a smaller plot at the entrance of the allotments here. So, I mean, when it wasn't Freya or myself that first came here, but when one of our colleagues first came here,
we could keep pointing that way.
It was sort of just an abandoned plot. It was lots of waist-high grass, lots of nettles and lots of brambles, and now we've got some raised beds with some wooden pillars coming out the top. That is a project that's currently undergoing at the moment, I think, for a shelter for when the weather's bad. But yeah, you can see we've got a few volunteers in here already, just sort of tidying up. I think it's one of the first sessions in a while. It's been almost a year, really.
So yeah, this site was really taking shape, but then last year, obviously, we stopped running the group during lockdown. We then didn't run it until autumn, and then in autumn we started running it again, but then that was only for a month or something. So, and there was a lot of work to catch up with everything, and now we're only just a couple of weeks back in to coming back again after the last lockdown. So it's taking shape, though. You can see we've got Jeff here who's kind of cutting back the edges where the grass has been coming up. We've got Anne and Donovan up here who are sort of weeding the orchard area. So yeah, at this Green Gym we've got the raised beds, which means that they're easy for people to get at. They're high, they're at waist height. We did also have, you can't really tell this because they've grown over completely, we had beds at ground level that meant that people that found it easier to dig into the ground could use them. We've got a Kugel culture bed that we started building. It's quite a small space we've got here. So that's not, we've got a couple of allotment sites. We've got the one down at Lady Pit Lane in South Leeds, and we've got the one up here. But we've also got the one at Hollybush and the one at Lovell Park,
which is more of a sort of hub garden sort of situation.
So that's a kind of community centre type building where it's got the garden there. The Hollybush Conservation Centre one, which is where we're based, that's the garden group there, and those ones are set up so you could get wheelchair access. They're set up so that not necessarily you don't that they're much more versatile in how they can be used. We've also got ones like the Oakwood Hall Garden, which is up in Oakwood, as the name implies, where there's more sort of practical conservation stuff going on. Same with the Hollybush one, actually. There's quite a lot of the sort of working in the woods, making things. Oh yeah. But then there's the Skelton Grange Green Gym as well, where they've got a 10-acre site down in Sturton in South Leeds. And yeah, we look after different sites. The main thing that makes a green gym is that it's about being outdoors, being in nature, being in green space, and getting active. And that's it. That's the core principle. So you get ones across the country. You get some that they operate with in parks. They're sort of like a Friends of Park group, and they go around and do the jobs in a park. In Leeds, we tend to be more site-based with our green gyms. Hi, Val. Got someone arriving.
Morning.
So yeah, so we try and follow the sort of 5 ways of Mind UK's 5 ways to well-being. So the connecting, the learning, the getting active, taking notice, and one other one. So
I'll let you get past Val.
Oh no.
It's I can, because she needs to speak to Donovan, doesn't she? Get down this way. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we're trying to run a group at the same time as filming this, which means we're kind of trying to do sort of like a ship, where we're trying to do like semaphore, trying to communicate things with people. Is it called semaphore when they do the arm wavy thing on
I don't.
You know when they do like that sort of thing with flags on a boat? Can someone tell me in the comments if that is called semaphore? I might just be saying a completely made up word. So yeah, I've taken notice, getting connected, being active. I've forgotten one of the other ones as well now. Learning. I've clearly not learned. But also, yeah, about getting active, connecting with nature. There's more and more evidence about, we know it, anyone that isn't outdoorsy.
Giving is one of them. Giving, yeah.
So anyone that's a gardener already knows the sort of benefits you can get from being out in green space. But there's more and more sort of evidence, more and more scientific backing to just the chemical benefits that you get out of being connected with nature. Even looking at the color green on it, like in cameras, like pictures of leaves and things, increases the sort of positive brain chemicals that are involved in stabilizing your mental well-being. So yeah, being outside, being active, getting things done, doing a task and finishing a task, all of this is just more and more proven to just be really good for your well-being. And so yeah, loads of evidence that it can help sort of reduce the symptoms of anxiety and depression. It can
reduces social isolation.
Yeah, the social isolation. So this is one thing, like we've got people that come to our groups that they garden at home and they're like, well, why would I go and do a gardening group? I'll go along once and I'll give it a try, but like I've got my own garden to look after. But then they come and it's like, no, it's about the group. It's about the sense of being part of something. It's like you said, the one I was forgetting, it's about giving. It's about giving back to your community. So it's about helping other people to achieve a common goal. I mean, yeah, we're saying all this. Should we go and chat to Anne?
Yeah. We've got Donovan up here, so Donovan might give us a wave.
Yeah.
Right. I'll let you go first.
I'll let you go because.
Oh. Okay. Anne, do you want to say a couple of words just about how you joined the group and yeah, when Freya comes, I'll let Freya ask the questions. But yeah, I can see here you're busy going away with
big weeds up and not strawberries.
Okay. So this group here is it's been almost 4 years, I think, on this site, has it? Yeah. And it's seen a massive transformation. It's a wonderful site. But how long have you been coming, Anne? 3rd year. Okay. Yeah. I think it'd be.
I've got my camera, my microphone back on. So, 3rd year. And yeah, it's a nice group, isn't it?
Oh, I think so. They're nice people.
All right.
The staff aren't bad.
Yeah, we've got a nice little group going. Like, there's quite a solid established sort of group of about half a dozen or so. Gonna come round here.
Be nice if there were more, but
I mean, it's a nice size for the size space we've got. It's quite a good number.
It's not massive, is it?
And we got Milo the cat as well, who is one of our additions to.
There you go. Right up on the camera.
We're not supposed to have pets at
well, like you said,
you can't keep him.
he just comes.
He's one of the group.
You couldn't keep him away. So there's an open site. We don't normally have animals at CCV sites, but you can't stop Milo. Yeah. So what sort of benefits do you think you've got out of being part of the?
Well, I think being in the fresh air for a start off, especially now.
Yeah.
I've always been in the fresh air and meeting other people and learning things that I never knew before. I mean, I go gardening all the time, but I've learned so much while I've been here that it's wonderful. As I say, you meet nice people and exercise.
That's it.
Yeah.
We've definitely not been like feeding answers.
Yeah, that's come off the cuff. That's
I'm speaking the truth.
Yeah, I mean, you've got your own garden. You've got a garden at home, haven't you?
Oh,
But,
yeah.
like,
I mean, my garden will be length of this.
Right.
My back garden.
So what is it that brings you to this group, even though you?
Well, Pat came before, and she went on about, she helped down at Crown as well, and she went on about how good it were. It were nice meeting people, and you've got your own garden through it, and if I haven't got a garden, but I've nobody to talk to and say, what's this and what's that and why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Like up here.
Yeah.
If I don't know what something is, there's always somebody else that knows.
I say, you're saying you're learning, but we learn off you as well because you are an experienced gardener, aren't you?
Yeah, but I don't always know what I'm doing for it.
Do any of us? Who knows?
Sometimes if it grows, it's not because of me, it's despite me.
So yeah, it's about everyone learning together, isn't it? Because and we just share experiences, share knowledge, and sort of learn together and figure out.
I must be honest, I've gone down to Hollybush Farm for years and years and years. I've got some really big trees in my garden that I bought from Hollybush Farm as sticks like that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
We used to, every time my friend came over from Hull, we used to go down to Hollybush Farm and I bought plants for my pond and trees and so even though I've only been coming here that time, we've been going down to Hollybush for years. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I shall get back to my weed.
Yeah, we'll let you get back to work.
Okay.
Yeah, normally at a green gym, part of what we do is there would be food. We'd normally have had at least one cup of tea by now, wouldn't we?
Oh,
so
at least.
At least one cup of tea.
I brought a bottle of water. So
yeah.
and I've brought some salt with it.
Sorry? So we're not actually doing this. We normally have sort of lunch together. We bring sort of food, we bring tea, and we all sit down and have biscuits. There's less of that going on at the moment because we're having to scale all that right back because of COVID. We'd sort of bring your own food if you want it, bring your own drinks if you want it. But yeah, we're not doing quite that. But the shared food, the shared eating together, the shared break is normally quite an important part of the green gym. And Milo is very distracting. He's fallen asleep under the trolley now. He's so funny. So yeah, like the structure would be that you'd normally arrive at a green gym. You'd normally arrive at a green gym. You'd normally maybe do a little. It is exercise, as the name implies. You might do a little bit of stretching if you know you're going to be doing some heavy lifting. You might do a bit of a warm up. You might have a cup of tea. It's also an integral part of the warm up that we do here, isn't it? But and then plan the session. We'd sort of say hello, and have a chat, catch up with people. It's a lot of the groups are quite small, they're quite friendly, they're outdoors as well. We do have shelters that we put up when it's raining and a bit miserable, and sometimes we might have a little fire or something, and then sort of allocate tasks. If people have a job they've been getting on with for a few weeks, they might go and do that. If there's a job that people can see that they want to do, they might be able to do that. But if people want more guidance, then we can point them at the thing that needs doing, give them the tools to do it. We've got quite a lot of sort of adapted tools that can be good for doing different activities in different ways. And as I said, we've got the raised beds, the lower beds, and if there's something that would make it easier for someone to use the space, we'll look into getting that put in, because we want to make sure that the spaces are as usable by as many people as want to use them. And then another cup of tea then, isn't it?
As well, after a few sessions, if volunteers have a particular project in mind that they want to take part in or want to even, develop themselves, that's kind of what the groups are for, where there are staff on site at all times. But the idea is that the sessions are almost volunteer led, where we kind of give this green space over to the group and kind of help them develop it. We're just sort of facilitating.
And as I said, Anne knows a lot, and a lot of other people in the group do have a lot of knowledge that, and they know the site. I mean, me and Alex don't actually normally run this group. We've come back this week to do the filming here and to run it, but the group kind of know the site as well as we do, and they can just sort of, if not better, so they can just sort of get on and get things done.
I turned up this morning and I asked, what's been going on then? What is it that you're getting on with? And then, we're just here to patch up any cuts and bruises, but
no cuts and bruises,
any little thorns or anything. But
so then the group sort of gets on. The groups tend to run for sort of 2 to 3 hours, but during that 2 to 3 hours, there will be sort of a point where normally we'd stop, we'd sit down, we'd have some sandwiches, Value's part of the group makes amazing green tomato chutney. So a couple of years ago, we had loads and loads of tomatoes growing here. They grew really well outside. We had loads. You can't really tell anymore, but we had loads and loads of tomatoes. Do you remember the green tomato chutney? It was good. Oh, mate, I'm jealous. So we're having that in our sandwiches. Always try and have something from the garden in the sandwiches that we're making as well. Sort of having salad leaves or some onions or something like that to go in. And I think, cheese sandwiches and cheese and hummus is the favourite in this group. With sort of the green tomato chutney and the salad leaves. But different groups kind of come up with different sets of preference of what salads they like. Oh, I'm just thinking about my lunch now. But then we get back to work, we do a little bit more, have another cup of tea. It's a very important part of what we do at TCV, tea and biscuits. And then, we'd do a little bit of if we do sort of warn yourself out, make sure you're not too tight across the shoulder, because you'll be surprised that the amount of, it's a whole body workout is gardening. You're using the tools, you're getting your lower body, your shoulders, so it's worth sometimes doing a little bit of a stretch at the end just to make sure that you're not. And
even someone who's super duper fit might not realise that they're coming and that you're using certain muscle groups that you don't usually use day to day, and that's important as well.
What else happens in a green gym? Have we had any questions? So Hazel's in the comments.
Hold on,
and
I'll have a look.
Can answer questions for you if we don't see them. Are there any questions?
It's all about the cat. All the comments are about Milo.
He's called Milo.
Julie's asking where the cake is. So sometimes there's cake and biscuits as well, depending if
there is no cake because there's COVID times, which means we can't share out the cake. And if anyone does have any questions about what might be involved in a green gym, and if anyone's interested in getting involved in a green gym, we do have them set up across the city. We've got them we've got West Leeds, inner West Leeds, so sort of the Kirkstall area, then out in we're in the sort of the Farnley-Wortley sort of area. We've got them in the in central Leeds, so we've got sort of one Such a silly boy.
Yeah, we've got one in South Leeds as well.
Yeah, down in Sturn, but also in Beeston. We've got another allotment site in Beeston. Got one in Oakwood. But yeah, if we also do have capacity to sort of run more. So if you have a site where you feel like you have a need for a green gym, and you have a group of people that are wanting to do some work on an area you've got, but you just don't quite know how to go about kickstarting it, do get in contact, because we can either come and sometimes like set up this one. We do sort of longer term. We've got a few that we've sort of run longer term, but we also do short term ones where we might come for like 12 weeks and just get the project rolling.
In the past, we did one in Seacroft for 8 weeks where we helped them develop a community centre that had been sort of semi-abandoned, and just sort of prettying up the outside, planting some apple trees, well, fruit trees, because they were different. But
it's very much about supporting the communities to develop themselves, because like even with the best will in the world, we might not continue to go to, but it won't be forever. But if we can get a garden based at a place that we can then help them to maintain it long term, then it's much more sustainable. And also there's no point us sort of parachuting into different communities and being like, you need this. It's about making sure that we're working with the partner organizations, working with the community there, and just making sure that we are putting something on that suits the people that are there. So yeah, we've got quite a few. We've had a lot as well. There's been a lot that have run sort of short term that have finished and then have carried on as groups.
Milo's happy. Milo's having his breakfast or lunch, I guess.
Have you got anything else to add then, Alex?
I mean, at the moment, right now, the groups are at limited capacity, but there is scope for, in the near future, the upcoming months. If you are interested, definitely don't hesitate. I think right now we're working on a sort of waiting list. So we've got existing volunteers that come to the groups, and then we've got people that are interested. So yeah, if you're interested in gardening or interested in getting out of the house, I think this is a really nice introduction to that. And I know especially after this quite tough year of social isolation, it could be quite daunting to go back into the big wide world. And I think, honestly, my personal opinion is that this is a really nice introduction back into meeting people, because everyone here is of a similar mind. You know, everyone's come to participate.
To be outside, to be together, even if people are sort of differences just sort of go out the way, and we're just all here to do the gardening. I think gardening is in the UK, one of the most common self-identifiers. So something that I can't remember the exact statistic, but a lot of people would describe themselves as a gardener. So not everything we do is gardening. We do also do sort of more practical conservation-y things. But this sort of the coming and the being outside, the being part of a group. I mean, also sitting down together.
To be fair, if you think, you know, I really do want to take part, but I don't really want to talk to people that much, there are volunteers that come and they do kind of keep to themselves, but just being part of something gives you that social aspect.
And I think that is something that does concern quite a few people when we talk to them initially, is that they're like, oh, well, I don't know anything about gardening. And sometimes that's people like Anne, who clearly knows loads, but sometimes it's also people that don't know anything, and that's absolutely fine. Like, we're here to support you, we're here to talk it through with people, we're here to just try and make sure that everyone's comfortable in the space. So yeah, do get in contact, because we will be I think we'll be starting groups up, and we will be expanding them. Initially we're just starting up again at the moment, but we will be expanding the groups, we will be recruiting, we will be letting new volunteers in. And I think if anything has been shown by the last year is, I think, the importance of looking after your mental health and looking after your mental well-being is so important. So thinking about how you
I think when we do start accepting people to the groups again, it will be sort of summertime, so it's the perfect weather for it. We're not going into winter, we're going into summer now. So if you're thinking, you know, I'm not going on holiday this year, but I want to be outside as much as I can, I want to be out in the sun, I think this group is a perfect excuse for that, really.
And we do. So it's just, if you do have the capacity to take 2 or 3 hours out of your week, then that's when we have these groups. But And if you know anyone that does, so we do take referrals from quite a lot of organisations, and we also work with Social Prescribing, so like this group where people come straight from the GP via the GP surgery, and it's sort of prescribed as an alternative to, or as an addition to whatever services the GPs offer. So it's just a way that, yeah, people can just come and feel better.
And I think if you're worried about transport as well, the one in the centre of Leeds at Lovell Park is probably the best option, because it's pretty much accessible for anyone. Just get to the centre of town, and then Lovell Park Hub is where that one is. And I know the people that use the hub, they're always coming up to members of the group and saying what a good job everyone's always doing. It's always really nice to hear, because I think, like me, I really haven't done anything there. It's all the volunteers, and when they come up and say, "Oh, you're doing such a great job," you know, it always gives the volunteers a really nice sort of, you know, in a positive way, an ego boost. You know, sort of, they've contributed to something, and it gets that sort of selflessness out of people.
Yeah,
and
it makes it, as well as making you feel connected to the group, it makes you feel connected to your community. It makes you feel connected to doing things that benefit the wider space, like making a space that people can look at and be like, "Oh, that's nice." Right, shall we
have a
look at these dandelions that are great for the pollinators?
All the comments are still about the cat.
Obviously. Right, shall we wrap up then?
Yeah.
If that's
so.
Get in contact if you want us to set a green gym up where you are, or if you want to come and join a green gym. And we will be back next Wednesday at 11 o'clock as well, when we'll be doing the next live stream, and which will be on something different. So thank you very much for joining us. I've been Freya,
and I've been Alex.
And this has been the Hawthorn Green Gym. And that's been Milo the cat.
I'm on the shot of Milo. There you go. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Take care.